Hello everyone and welcome back to another lesson of Management Information Systems. Now let's continue this lesson to finish this program. In fact, there's a little bit stuff that we need to add, and we're gonna actually customize our data grid view a little bit because, for example, if you look over here, when I add some phone number, let's say when I add a contact, let's say I'm going to add a professional one, I'm going to hit add and OK, and when I'm trying to find him, the guy is there, but unfortunately I don't get the company name, okay, which is a problem. Now, in order to solve that, we're going to generate our own rows, in fact. So we're going to actually add the columns by ourselves and generate the rows by ourselves, and then once we try to actually submit, once we actually get the data, we're going to actually fill in, we're going to generate that row and just simply add it in the data grid view. Alright, so but there's going to be a little bit more interesting stuff, interesting code going into it, because your collection is having, your list is only containing the contact, which is the father class or the papa class or the base class, and you have really to check and differentiate between those, between professional contact and personal contact. Now, in order to know what the type of an object is, there is a small piece of code that is really small, like small piece of code, like a small line that we're gonna write in there to check if our object which is inside that list is an object of something that we know, and if it is, then we're gonna write it in a certain way and so on. Let's move on to the code and see how this is gonna be done. So first thing first, we have to, in order to customize our rows, we're gonna right now ignore the idea of, let's say, doing this and doing that, excuse me. So doing this, we have to do that, but this one is going to be completely changed, okay? Because right now I cannot call upon this. In fact, data grid view will see the object inside this array, and he will generate columns based on the properties as you already saw. I just simply gave the data grid view, the data sources of the data grid view, I just gave him a list, and he just immediately generated for me all the properties needed for each object to be fitting in every cell. Now, the problem is when we're trying to submit our own stuff, right now we have to customize the whole thing. So this piece of code, or this line of code, and this line of code is probably going to change to something else. Now, first of all, we have to add our own columns, alright? And it is really quite easy. So we're gonna have data grid view address book dot columns, which is columns dot add. And by the way, if you go on MSDN, there are a lot of ways of adding columns. I mean, this one is the easiest in my humble point of view. Nickname. So this is like the name of the column. Okay, like let me just show you the other constructor. So this is like the name of the column, and this is the header text. Okay, so this is the name of the column, and like if you want to access it in Visual Studio, like in code, and this is what the user is gonna see. Okay, now I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, I'll leave it for now. So I'm gonna come here and this should be 6 now, but anyway. So I'm gonna have first name. Let me like bring it big. Like first, and if you want to, you can add space if you want to, but I will keep it like the same for everything. So last name and last name, and here's gonna be family name. Oh, sorry, not the family name. Phone. Oh, sorry, family name, last name. Phone. Excuse me. And here is gonna be email. You know what? Let's keep consistent with our application. I don't know what's wrong with my T here. Family name, and let me copy this, paste it there. Email, and now here's the trick. We're gonna actually add two more columns: company name and even birth date. Okay, so we have these two columns. Excuse me, these two columns. Why? Because the problem is you have actually to display professional contacts and personal contacts in the same time. You could have, let's say, it's two people. For example, you are searching by family name, and let's say you pick up my El Zayat, let's say, which is my family name, and you know, let's say, several people of our family. Now you have some of them are in professional contact, some of them are in personal contact, and then when you pick them up, when you type by family name, you will pick up all of them, the personal and the professional ones. Now, in order to not to have any conflict, I would like to see all of them in the same grid. Then we're gonna have to generate two specific columns, but for personal contact, all right, for personal contact, we're gonna write something in the birth date, and we're gonna leave the row or the part for, or the cell for the company name will be empty. Now, in order to determine how to do that, I am going actually to, okay, let me just find the end of this function. So here I am gonna make a small function called fill data grid, and since the temporarily address book is there, I don't need even to pass it by parameter here, because it's available upstairs. So I'm gonna just simply write the code down. Now, as I said already before, how to determine your, if you are trying to print out or to show out professional or personal contact. Now here's how to do it. Now I'm gonna create a small objects, like temporary objects, if you will. So I'm gonna call this pro, and this is like personal contact is gonna be purse. Okay, now these two objects, I'm gonna use them in order to, like, once if I find an item, if I find, for example, in my array, I have to cast certain objects from the array. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So first of all, in order to display anything, like as if you are in any console application, you have to for each over the list. So if I have a contact that I found in my temp list, and I have added everything in there, now only thing what I need is just simply do a for each loop and display each object on the screen. Now, of course, in order to loop over each on each one of them, I'm gonna actually use for each here. So var item for every item. Okay, you can call it contact if you will, and later on I'm gonna cover a lesson about implicit typing and all. In temp, okay, because temp is a list of contacts, okay, not professional, not personal. Now here's the part where I have to differentiate between either are you a personal contact or are you a professional contact. So here it comes. So I say if item.getType, so give me the type of that item in my temporary list. If you would like to, I can change it to contact, but it's the same. So if that item equals type of, and then here I pass the name of the class, professional contact. Now here's actually checking if my item is a type of a professional contact, then I'm gonna generate a row that is actually behaves like a professional contact. Now the problem is item is still a contact. Okay, now here it comes the part where I have to parse that item to a professional contact. So I'm gonna say pro equals to, and here's the casting, so professional contact, and then I say item. So I casted that item from being a normal contact to a professional contact, since if this one is true, then it is really gonna be converted to that guy for sure. And I'm gonna create an array of string, okay? And this array will fit in, inside this this data grid view, you know, like row. Be careful about the order how you create those. So for example, let me show you in a second here. String. So I'm gonna create a string row equals to, and then here I'm gonna say pro.nickname, comma, and then I can go on. Now please take care about the order how you put them, because for example, nickname is coming first name, afterwards family name, phone, email. If you mix those up, you will mix actually the display in data grid view. You could end up showing email inside the phone cell. I mean, the data grid view will show the columns and everything fine, but your data are gonna be reversed. So pro nickname, pro first name, pro dot family name, pro dot phone. I believe the next one was pro dot email. Phone, email. Okay. Now here comes actually the trick. Now of course, since the guy is a professional, he's gonna have a company name, but in data grid view we got actually another column at the end, which is the birth date, right? Now the birth date is not gonna contain anything, because at the end it's for personal contact. So I'm gonna actually like add an empty strings over here. Alright, so I've added the semicolon. Now the only thing which is left is to say data grid view dot rows dot add, and then I'm just gonna simply add the row. And hold on a second, let me just show you this. So you have several initializers, or you can actually make a data grid view like specific like row or something. I can add several number of rows, and I can actually add an array of values. Okay, so this is what I'm using. Alright, so right now I have added, I could actually successfully add a professional contact row, including the company name, and of course without this guy, without the birth date. Now let us do another if. Of course I could do the else part, but to be honest with you, I would like to go safe, because I don't know, you could come up with a new type of contact which is, you know, out of the cloud, and then you say, okay, now if I hit the else key, now if I said just only else, then probably it's going to be a little bit trouble. So I will go here in the if, you know, I would like to go through the if dot if item dot get type equals type of personal contact, and it's going to be the exactly same code, exact same code. So I'm going to copy this, and except this is going to be personal contact, and this is going to be parsed to a personal contact, and everything going to be the same, but of course I have to change this to this. Now now you see company name doesn't exist in the personal contact, so I'm gonna actually put the empty colons here, empty quotes here, so empty string, and I'm gonna put this in the birth date, and we got it fine. So I'm gonna actually put the birth date part, you know, fill it in that cell. So I believe this is it. I hope so. So if the program doesn't explode, now we have to start, you know, like right now I'm gonna eliminate this piece of code. So I'm gonna comment it first, and I'm gonna come here and I say fill data grid, and this guy as well is gonna be commented. Excuse me. And okay, this is gonna be a little bit different, but easy enough. I could like comment this and I say temp equals to that guy. So I'm gonna, by the way, I just selected the thing and I hit the control key and I left mouse button click and I dragged so I can make a copy of it. Okay, now and here I'm gonna add my fill data grid. Now let's see how this stuff will look like. So this was control F5. Now Mohammed, and family name is gonna be Mohammed as well. Any phone number, any email, and company name. Okay, so I'm gonna come here and file new professional contact. I'm gonna add one, and well, I'm gonna add one more. Whatever, family name and whatever phone number. And okay, let me try to make a personal contact. So I'm gonna actually put a wow. Well, actually, in order just to follow, you know, the movie stuffs. So, okay, add, and okay. Now let's try to find the guy. Let's hope that the program will crash because of this 21/12/2012. Whatever. So as you can see here, by the way, because I created the columns by myself, I could actually see the columns right away without finding anybody. Okay. Now if I try to find Muhammad, and you see here, here's his company name. If I'm trying to find Emir, as you can see here, I got the birth date over here as well. Alright, so this is for how to like put the data customized in my data grid view. So as you can see here, it's really easy. I know it's a little bit extra code, but at the end it's really worth it and it really works. Alright, so we could in fact like search for a guy. You know, now what is actually left for us is to delete a contact. Now in order to delete a contact, I would like to have the feature oops, let me try to go here. I would like to have the feature of, let's say I would like to select a guy from the data grid view and I hit delete, so like poof, the guy just goes deleted. So I'm gonna do that, but just somehow my PC is a little bit okay. Now I can select this guy. Now what I can do here is go over data grid view again, F4. Now I'm gonna come in right now in the events tab. I will try to find the cell click event. I hope I can find it. Cell state, cell mouse, cell leave, enter, click, 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 click. There you go. So the cell click. So when I click on a cell, now first of all, please make sure. Oops, I hit F5, not F4. Okay, let me just turn off this. So please make sure that we enabled. I would like to double check it again. The part where, okay, let me try to go over here so it will be easier for me. This one, selection mode, full row select. Trying to make sure that this guy is like this. Okay, it has this property. Now I'm gonna handle that event, and what's gonna happen is I'm gonna grab the contact dot nickname is gonna equal to data grid view address book dot selected rows dot selected rows. Actually, I'm gonna grab the zeroth row, and here the zeroth cell, and I'll explain why. Dot value dot to string. Now when you select a row in data grid view in Visual Studio has the ability of multi-row selections. Okay, so like if I go here, if you see in the selection mode, you have full row select, full column select. Oh, sorry, not here. I believe multi-select is here. You see, multi-select equals to true. which indicates if the user allowed to select more than one row, okay, or more than one cell, depends. In fact, I'm going to disable this feature because I don't need it. But anyway, if you would like to have it, then you can actually, you have to do the for each loop or over every selected row you have, okay? But anyway, what I wanted to mention here is, if in data grid view you have the capability of selecting several rows, okay? This selected row is a collection, as you can see here. Data grid view selected row collection. So you can in fact do a for each over it. You can loop over them. Okay, it's an array. It's not a singular object. So that's why I mentioned. So that's why I said the zeroth row, because anyway, when I'm selecting only a single row in the selected row array inside the data grid view inside the system, I will be always at the zeroth row. So that's why I'm using 0. And cells 0 right now, as you can see here. Okay, let me Control F5 this so I can show you. Yeah, well, why not? I'm going to add a guy as well. Control N, add the guy. Okay, okay, and find a contact. Now, as you can see here, this is row 1, let's say, or row 0, excuse me, and this is row 1. Okay. Now, if I select one of the rows, as you can see here, yes, sorry, continue. If I select one of the rows, my selection is going to be the 0th row, okay? If I have here 100 rows and I select one of them, this is going to be row number 0, which I select in my selected row array, okay? And when I say row zeros, that means that I'm going to grab this whole row, okay? So in my selected rows array, and I'm going to grab, when I say cells 0, I'm going to grab the first cell in my data grid view, the first cell. Now please take care. If in any case you hidden the nickname and you know, like you hidden that column and you said, and that thing going to be showing like first name, family name without this guy, if you say the cell number 0, it will pick up this one, okay? So it actually, when you say cells 0, it picks up the 0th cell which is visible to the user, which is displayed on the screen, okay? So when I say row 0, cell 0, that means that I'm grabbing this cell. When I say dot value, give me whatever inside that cell. Now dot value is returning to me an object, okay? And since Mohammed, in fact, as a string inside, and a nickname is actually a string, so it didn't harm to say dot to string, and I converted this whatever content to a string, okay? So I grabbed this and I put it inside my contact, inside my object contact. So, and if you remember, when we are trying to delete a contact, we sometimes we are actually deleting him by the nickname, right? So the only thing which is left is to handle the event when I hit the delete key, okay? So I'm gonna go here in the find contact, in the find remove contact in that form, and I'm gonna come here and I just gonna say key down, okay? So when I press key down on my data grid view, I'm gonna have to handle if e dot key code equals keys dot. Sorry about that, guys. This is like, okay, for geeks who loves Star Trek. Anyway, I'm actually not gonna trim this part, so you guys enjoy it. Keys dot delete. I forgot to put my phone on silent. Sorry about that. So address book dot remove contact. And then I'm gonna grab the contact up above, which I have created, or which I have actually hold the nickname in it, and that's it. And of course, afterwards, after I finish this, please data grid view address book dot rows dot clear. So right now I'm clearing the view again because I have deleted the row which I have. Okay, so Control F5 again. Now let's give it a try. So Mohammed. Family name is gonna be whatever, Mohammed, of course. Okay, so Control N, add one. So we have one in my address book. New one. I'm gonna add one more personal. I'm gonna have Amir again. Amir. So I'm gonna add him. So we have 2. Now I hope that this one will work. So here we go. I'm gonna grab Muhammad and I'm gonna select him. Okay, so I've selected the whole row. I'm gonna hit delete. Okay, now if I close this and I'm trying to add one more contact, let's say professional, and I'm gonna have, how about a small test? Let me add him again. Oh, it works. So in fact I have, yeah, you see right now I have 2. So we successfully could add and could delete a contact. Okay, so this is really great. Okay, now I believe the purpose of this application has been fulfilled. Now I have, please keep in mind that this code is really not optimized. Okay, and there's a lot of optimization can be done, and this code can be done even a lot better. But this is more like an educational or presentational like kind of code. Okay, so I keep it really trying to keep it simple and flat as possible. Feel free to add or remove parts of the code. Feel free to optimize it on your own. If you once we get into link and other stuff, feel free as well to convert this code completely to link. And by the way, if we used link to object in this program, you cannot imagine how much code we can actually squeeze down. I mean, there are a lot of, you can replace these 4 lines of code with 1, for example, or something like that, which we're gonna see later on during the lessons in this semester. Okay, now what is the only thing which is left, which I have promised, and I'm gonna actually make it as an optional bonus video, which is gonna be how to save this whole thing into XML file and load the contacts list or the address book from an XML file as well. So this could be quite helpful for you guys in the future if you would like to save some certain stuff on a hard drive using C#. Alright, so thank you for listening. See you in the next lesson.